Hi guys, continuing our discussion of the previous year question of civil service. In this section, we will discuss a set of questions. In that particular section, we will discuss contribution of Dadabhai Naoroji to India's struggle for freedom. Dadabhai Naoroji was a prominent figure of Indian national movement. So every time, be it public state service commission or UPSC, the question generally being asked. So you have to be very thorough about this particular question. First Indian to be the member of British Parliament, you have to write. Then in 1866 he founded East India Association for propagating cause of India. East India Association founded by Dadabhai Naoroji. Then he was one of the founders of Indian National Congress along with A.O. Hume and Dinsha Vacha. Then his unearthing of colonial economic exploitation is the most important contribution to Indian national movement. In his book Poverty and Un-British Rule, in that book what he has mentioned, he presented drain of wealth theory, which refers to unilateral transfer of wealth from India to Britain, resulting in widespread poverty and severe famines. Then exposed exploitative nature of the British rule in India, which helped to boost Indian national movement. Then he proposed Indianization of bureaucracy. Indianization of bureaucracy, he was the first person to raise voice for it. Then separation of power from executive to judiciary. Then first person to use the word economic colonialism, where most of the other writers who took the economic colonialism word from Dadabhai Naoroji himself. Then in his stay in the Britain in 1860s, his work was on Indian poverty and drain of wealth of India suffered under the British imperialism. In every forum, he was exposing the British. You can imagine the impact that person has made in India's freedom movement. Then around 1/4 of India's revenues went out of the country. By the beginning of 20th century, Naoroji was openly calling for self-government. People like Naoroji who got enlightenment how the British was exploiting India. He was asking for self-government in the early 20th century. He possibly the first person to ask for self-government in that particular sense. Then he served as a president of Indian National Congress in 1888, 1893 and 1906. Besides presenting India at the International Congress of Social Democrats at Amsterdam in 1905. He is being rightly called as Grand Old Man of India. He is being rightly called as Grand Old Man of India. So you can end the total discussion, and you can also add a punch point that he was the only person who was respected by both in moderates and extremist group of the Congress. It's a huge achievement because Congress, he was the connecting link between both moderates and extremists. So you can end by the whole discussion in your conclusion by saying it was Dadabhai Naoroji's contribution to Indian freedom struggle was immense, and he was the person behind later movements which took place in the Gandhian era. Now moving to the next question. Next question is the role of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose in India's freedom struggle. Subhash Chandra Bose was a prominent figure in Indian politics during the Indian freedom struggle. So you have to be very thorough, and both in UPSC as well as in state civil services main examination, they will ask you regarding his personality. So Bose was a towering figure in Indian freedom struggle. Your introduction has to be brilliant. Then you have to write Bose was a towering figure, and you can add whatever you want to. Then, despite being a successful in Indian civil services examination, Bose chose to fight for freedom of the country. He joined civil disobedience movement that was being led by Mahatma Gandhi. He was very instrumental in joining Indian freedom struggle led by Mahatma Gandhi. He became active member of Indian National Congress. Then he was the mayor of Calcutta, brought progressive changes because of his progressive policies, the British government was very furious of him and deported him to Mandalay. Then he was elected as the president of Indian National Congress in 1938, again in 1939. He couldn't compromise with the leader of the movement, that was Gandhi, and because of which he resigned from the presidency and formed Forward Bloc. After resigning from presidency of Indian National Congress, he formed the Forward Bloc. Then, during the World War II, he daringly escaped from the house arrest by the British and reached to Berlin via Moscow and reached Berlin in March 1941, sought Hitler's help to free India from the British. Then, in Germany, Indian community hailed him as Netaji and greeted him with Jai Hind, the slogan which are still prevailing today, and that is Jai Hind, which we are using. From Berlin radio, he regularly broadcasted to India, urging his countrymen to rise against the British. From Berlin, he was telling the Indian people, masses, through radio to rise against the British. Then, with the help of Ras Behari Bose, he formed Azad Hind Fauj, Indian National Army. He formed Azad Hind Fauj, Indian National Army, for the liberation of India from British rule. Then, he gave the battle cry, Delhi Chalo, and give me blood, I will give you freedom. He, while addressing the Indian National Army from Singapore, he gave this kind of a slogan, daringly motivating, because Indian National Army soldiers were fighting against a well-equipped British forces with less resources and very less food availability. So he gave this kind of a slogan to motivate them to fight till the last. Then INA revealed Subhash Chandra Bose's greatness as a military leader and as an organizer too. One of the Indian National Army brigades advanced up to India's borders, and Indian national flag was hoisted in Kohima in March 1944. Because of the leadership of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, Indian National Army's flag, the India flag, is first hoisted in Kohima in March 1944. He formed brigades in the name of Gandhi, Nehru, Azad and Rani Jhansi. Though he was having ideological differences with Gandhi, but he was having great respect towards Gandhi. It was him who addressed Gandhi as the father of the nation from the radio station. So the father of the nation, what we use today, it is because of his contribution to addressing Gandhi and his respect towards the women community, as well as their contribution towards Indian freedom struggle was so great that he formed a brigade in the name of Rani Jhansi Brigade, which was a total women brigade. So I hope every concept of Subhash Chandra Bose is being addressed, and we will move to the next question. Now, moving to the third question. Third question is popularization of widow remarriage and prohibition of child marriage act. There was a time in India where women were treated very badly, and there was a time when women were suppressed in every aspect of human life. Then Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar was against all types of rotten customs, and he worked hard to start the culture of widow remarriage. Then the enactment of Hindus Widow Remarriage Act 1856 was a major social reform to improve the condition of the woman in India. Then, before this law, the custom of sati was also abolished by Lord William Bentinck in 1890 1829. The draft of the Hindus Widow Remarriage Act 1856 was prepared and passed by Lord Dalhousie. In the pre-independence era, the child marriage was a restraint act. The Child Marriage Prohibition of 1929, which is also known as Sarda Act, was a law to restrain the practice of child marriage who couldn't handle the stress of a married life and avoid early death. Increase the age to 21 years and female to 18 years. Heavy punishment to jail to individuals, parents, guardians as well as individuals marrying. Punishment was made heavily, and that's how the child marriage cases brought down significantly. It has acted as a deterrent. Post-independence, recently Child Marriage Prohibition of Child Marriage Act 2006 came into effect. So these are the things which happened. You can expand and add more points to it. And now moving to the fourth question.